Last week, we had an opportunity to meet Tammy. I'm so excited to bring the other piece to the puzzle. If you liked our last episode, you're going to love this upcoming conversation about a man who is committed to doing the work to bringing himself out of solitary confinement, never really identifying who he was because he was too busy performing the day-to-day activities for everyone else. Meet Rudy. Well, isn't the amazing Rudy LaRose? I'm so glad that you are here. So much is unpacking. I'm like elated at what is happening for you. And I'm welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
I wanted us to kind of get back together and through past sessions and conversation. When you and I first met, I remember that you had like this urge. You was like, you need to meet Tammy.
Yes.
You need to meet Tammy. I was like, okay, I'll get to meet Tammy. And finally, something happened.
Yep.
And then we met suddenly.
Yep.
And it was just incredible. What a delight Tammy is to work with.
She is.
So you are a very successful entrepreneur.
Yes.
You've been in business for a very long time.
Yes.
Have so much going for your life. And I'm so excited that you're taking this journey of personal discovery, self-discovery,
Yes.
and not only that you're taking the time to throw out a lifeline for someone else.
Yes.
So when you saw me, you thought of Tammy, and when you thought of Tammy, you thought of me. What were your thoughts, Rudy? What did you mean to set me up with
Oh
this?
my gosh. I mean, I just realized the synergy was there because, you know, a lot of times you meet someone and you have casual conversation with them and then you never see the person or never even think about them. But with meeting you, Chantal, it was instant. We talk, we futurize, I like to say it, you know, just thinking about vision. And I knew that Tammy was a visionary and I knew that you and her needed to get together. And so it's just a blessing and honor to see you guys, you know, collaborate is what I call it, and just put the love into the collaboration. It's awesome.
Yes. Tammy is amazing. And to see her transformation, it's almost like watching myself all over again. And a lot of time people want to think, you know, that I've arrived or I've made it. But no one really understands what it took and what it is actually taking.
Yes.
It's not something that you get up and you become.
That's right.
It's a never-ending journey.
That's right.
And a lot of time people say, well, I want what you have.
Yeah.
No, what I have is, and then when I say, well, practice, they're like, what the heck? Practice? I need something more. And then Tammy and I had a run-in with this. She called me one time and she was like, you know, after she left Florida, she went back to Maryland and she was saying, you know, something is happening. I've been doing good and this. I said, well, okay, how is practice?
Right.
She was like, I don't want to hear that. I need you to tell me something magical.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about the practice.
Yes.
You know, so hearing her story and seeing part of her life, I've been where she is, not knowing who I was, what I wanted, and whether I should live or die in my situation.
Right.
And so I'm so proud that she's making decisions against reason, because sometimes what gets us stuck is reason.
Yeah.
Reason will tell you, you comfortable here. You know, you don't need to get another business. I mean, life is good here. This may take too much of your time. All the chatter that doesn't work, only to work against yourself. So you brought Tammy to me and hoping that I would bring some relief to her home and transformation to her. What did you think it was going to be like from the outside looking in for you?
You know, it's crazy because a lot of times, you know, people go through transformation in their life and sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's, oh, you know, maybe I'll do it. You know, just it's kind of like working out, right? I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do my little workouts and stuff. But you see the person 6 months later, it's like, are you sure you're going to the gym? Like, you kind of look the same. But with her, I mean, I saw where she was in her mind, and I seen the transformation over the last just few weeks.
Right.
Just being able to be in that place of knowing this is where I belong, this is where I need to be, and be able to move forward in that journey. For me, it's a beautiful piece of art to watch.
Right.
And to behold, if you will, the her becoming a butterfly. You
Absolutely.
know, it's really amazing.
Absolutely. What I admire so much about this process is sometimes when you're going through it alone, it's truly tough.
Yeah.
Even sometimes when you have people with you,
Yeah.
it's a lonely,
Yeah.
walk. What's beautiful is that she has people standing with her and standing for her to bail her, to help bring her out of prison, bring her soul to safety.
Yes.
And what's powerful is that she's committed to bringing herself out of safety. So, tell me, and you standing for her, I thought it was amazing. It is amazing because sometimes we just need somebody to believe with us. To stand that we can make it.
Right.
Because where she is not, I mean, it's typical in some aspect, but it's not an easy process.
It's not.
So what she's thinking about doing, what she may be doing, is not easy. So tell me a little bit about your business relationship with Tammy, how long you guys have been working together, how is business, and what the future look like in business for you guys.
So we've been working together. It's going to be actually 2 years in a couple of months. But everyone who meets us thinks we've known each other forever. I tend to believe when you have someone in life that you want to partner up with, it's not just a matter of let's talk about the numbers. I love the way they do it in European countries and mainly Asian countries, I think, where you meet the person's family, you dine with them, you interact with them. So I've had the chance to do that, to fly over and meet the family and dine with them and kind of get to know the person's surrounding, because their surrounding tells you a lot about them as well.
Yep.
And so being able to see how she interacts with her children was amazing to me. And then coming forward and working together in her business has been such a joy for me, because I'm seeing myself, in a lot of the things that she's saying, the stories that she's saying, and then seeing her poise working with people and helping them with their stories, for me has been a joy. I remember one specific time I was telling my story and she stopped me dead in my track. I was in the middle of a training. She stopped me dead and she said, "No, that's not the story." She said, "Remember when you told me such and such?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Tell that story." And I started telling the story, and tears started coming down my eyes as if I was there.
Wow.
And I knew then that I needed to work with her then.
She did something.
Yep.
She sparked something in you.
Yes, she did.
Wow. Yep. That's incredible. I remember when Tammy came in and she, when she went back, I'm not sure if it was when she went back or before she came, to be able to have someone that you can share vision with, and to work that vision so effortlessly is not normal. It's not easy. So I think that's a really good chemistry between the two of you. So when Tammy went back, I think it was a situation that was happening at home. You, of course, know the dynamic of her husband and relationship for the past 27 years, living in turmoil, and having to suffer that for so long, and feeling trapped, not knowing that there is a way out, and that is salvation available for her, and so she went back, and I think I got a text from you that it was urgent for me to reach out to her. What was happening at that time, and how did you feel to know that you have something here going on with business, and that your partner is there, business partner is suffering there, and you called me, you text me, you was like, reach out to Tammy. What was happening? So
I believe during that period of time, Chantal, I realized that, one of the things that helps a lot of people is knowing, like you said, that there's someone in their corner. But more importantly, there's someone that understands them and understand the dynamics of what they're going through. And who better than another woman who has had the experience in the past to deal with these things, to speak to her. So I knew, next she needed to really have a plan on what it was going to take to take her from one place to the next. And without a plan, I knew it would be difficult. I knew it would be a challenge. I remember my mother going through, situations where she needed a plan to deal with her relationship. Right. And so I knew that if she had that person that could help her navigate through that plan, that it would be a no-brainer for her, at the end.
Wow. So committing to being that for her, what have you seen happen for her? Like how?
Oh my gosh.
That transition.
I mean, just the confidence alone.
Awesome.
Just the confidence alone is huge. Because oftentimes what it takes to step out is the confidence.
Yeah.
It's really not even knowing the full plan. It's the confidence that there is a plan and that it's gonna work. And that no matter what, you cannot fail. You cannot lose. You can learn the lesson. You can keep going and learn the next lesson, but you cannot fail if only you continue to move forward. So I've seen her move forward, even not understanding, even not knowing the full gamut of where she's going, but she's assertive with every single step that she's taking, knowing she has a community of people that's surrounding her to help her navigate through that, I think is big.
You was telling a story one time that you would give someone the gas out of your tank and then you end up running out of gas on the highway. And it's just like, okay, what sense does that make? But that's who we are. And I had to become someone other than that because that wasn't working for me.
Correct.
In your own journey, I know that you're committing to making sure Tammy get in, and God knows how many other people that you're helping to get to where they need to go. Where's Rudy?
Yeah.
Where's Rudy in all of this?
It's a big question.
And yes, where's Rudy?
The world wants to know.
Yeah, where's Rudy?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because in the world of figuring all things Rudy LaRose, I've also realized that there's been a Superman, cape that I've been carrying for years.
You too?
Yeah. I had the R on my chest, and just been showing up all kinds of places. And one day I looked at the mirror and someone helped me realize that I had holes in my cape. And that I hadn't taken the suit off for so long that it was worn out.
Wow.
And the last time I went to try to fly, it just didn't work. I just went straight down. It just didn't work.
Man, at that point, what happened?
I decided at that point that it was time for Clark Kent to come back out, and I hung up the suit. And man, I love the Clark Kent, the suit, the glasses, he's assertive. I mean, I still got the superhero in me, inside of me, but I don't have to carry the cape anymore. And it feels good. It feels good to be in population, in society, and look at the mirror and see me, the person, and starting to go through that journey. And one of the things that I tell Tammy all the time is I'm falling in love with the journey.
My God.
I am so falling in love with the journey. It's kind of like working out. It's like, yeah, it's tough, and you're doing all these, the other day I did 300 burpees, and it feels good, but man, I am falling in love with the journey.
That is very amazing to hear because a lot of time people make the journey work.
Yeah.
And it becomes daunting.
Yes.
And it becomes something that, okay, I got to put off.
Yes.
Maybe pick it up on December 31st.
Yes.
Right? Because this is too much for me. But to hear from you and not to stereotype from a man's standpoint.
Right.
And what's fascinating about my business as far as coaching, that I get a lot of men to come. And from what I've heard in the past is that men don't come for help. I've had men to come and bring their significant others or bring their wife or bring, their family. And so I'm seeing more and more men stepping up saying, look, whoa, it's me.
Yes.
Because I'm important enough for myself, even when they haven't realized that they're important enough for themselves to step up and say, if it is to be, it's up to me to do it. And so for you to step up and say, okay, I'm going to take off this cape. Because who am I fooling?
Yeah.
I have a cape with a hole in it, but I look good to everybody else because
Right.
they can't see the cake.
Right.
Because I either stitch it up a little
Yep.
bit and showing up pretending, and Tammy and I were talking
Yes.
that you live in a prop.
Yes.
Your whole life is a prop
Yes.
for everyone else.
Yes.
That your life doesn't even stand a chance
Yes.
at becoming, at evolving, because you're putting on for everyone and everything else. So for you being a man, first and foremost, I honor you for just
Thank you.
being committed to your own personal transformation
Yes.
as a man, and then being able to say, you know what, I can pull a few more people up with me to get the job done. So your work, when did you reached out to me and felt that, okay, it's time for me to take this work to the next level? Where were you and why? Why now?
Woo. That is a good question. Where was I? It was the realization that I did some work on my body first, right? I started working out, but I took it seriously this time. It wasn't just, I'll go when I feel like it.
Right.
My trainer says there's 2 times you show up, when you feel like it and when you don't.
Wow,
Those are the only times. Those are the.
That's real.
So I did the journey, lost 40 pounds, and I realized that. Thank you. I realized that it wasn't just the shedding of the physical weight.
Right.
But there was an emotional weight that I needed to shed as well. And so, because what happens a lot of times when people lose weight, they go back into it because the emotional weight was never shed.
Yeah.
So for me to do that, I needed to find an emotional trainer to help me do that.
Wow.
And so it was strongly suggested that I come to none other than Chantal to do that, because there was what I didn't want is a textbook answer, right? And we're so used to that. I grew up in the church, and I'm used to the, go to the counseling, go to this, go to the 5-step process. I didn't want to go through I wanted to really dive in to who I was, who I am, and who I needed to be for the next move, for the next phase of my life. And when I started that journey, I realized that this emotional weight that I was carrying also needed to come off, so that I didn't bring back the physical weight. And I was also to move forward and be lighter emotionally than I've been for the last 40 plus some years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You said something so profound that I hope that the audience and everybody else captured. So sometimes we want a physical appearance that the body or the mind isn't capable of matching. Right. So you want happiness. Right. But internally, you're not open to happiness, and you don't even know that you're not open for happiness. Right. And sometimes we want transformation, or we want success, but there are things that we put in place to serve as a protective measure for us, which in turn turn against us because it no longer serves us.
Yes.
Like we discovered through our session that the 13-year-old you that is governing your life, has been governing your life, doesn't serve you right now. It doesn't. It doesn't support where you're going.
Absolutely.
And so to be able to go back, and those protective measures that were created by that 13-year-old you, that threat isn't happening right now.
Correct.
So what is the point of having that mechanism that doesn't serve? So I thought that was really powerful. That the body, we have people who go on a diet every year, December 31st.
Yep.
And you can't go on a diet. It's a lifestyle change. And I think sometimes it has to do with the emotion, like you said, it's the self-esteem. How do I feel about myself?
Absolutely.
That I'm committed to not only exercising, but to doing the emotional work.
Absolutely.
And so you went all out.
Yeah.
Because from what I heard when I first met you, I heard that Rudy don't do nothing small.
Yeah.
And so I found that to be true, because not only did you mean what you said in your physical state of exercising, losing 40 pounds and keeping it off.
Right.
Now you said, okay, not only do I want to do this physical work and keeping it down, now I'm going to do the emotional work.
Correct.
And it takes a lot for me to take on certain clients, because a lot of time, and I told Tammy this, people want to come in for coaching just to say, I tried.
Right.
I went to coaching.
Check.
Yeah, check. And I'm just not that person.
Right,
I
right.
can't be that for,
Right.
we've suffered enough.
Absolutely.
And to your point, before you even knew that kind of work about me, or the intense, the in-depth work, that you didn't want another surface
Right.
coaching, therapy, counseling.
Right.
You wanted to truly address the underlying issues that kept you stuck.
Absolutely. I wanted answers.
You wanted answers,
Absolutely.
and those answers were available for you.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of you identifying what your needs. So who did you have to be, Rudy, to step up and say, this is enough?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to become vulnerable, not just to other people, but to myself. Because here's the thing, I can say anything to anyone. And when you go to the doctor, you say, well, how's your knee? Okay, the knee feels great. Okay, great. How's this? I mean, you can tell them anything.
Right.
But if there's pain in the knee and you don't tell the doctor, guess what? They're not gonna know.
Right.
There's no way for them to know. I mean, you might be limping afterwards, but they don't know until you say what's going on. Right. I had to say what's going on with me. I had to become, essentially become vulnerable to myself.
Wow.
To come to a place where not only I'm saying that I need to get the emotional weight off, but I'm ready to do the work.
Committing.
And that for me, and anything that you do, has been the driving force, because if I'm not committed to the work,
Right.
then what's the point?
Yep.
You can buy 1,000,000 books and read 1,000,000 books, but if you're not committing to the work of that book, then it's just what they call it, garage space in your head, right?
Exactly.
You just put a bunch of stuff, filling it up, but you're never applying it.
Wow.
So it's coming to the knowledge of who I am,
Yes.
and then being able to move forward in that was important for me.
Wow. Again, Rudy, that is a striking statement, to be able to commit to doing the work.
Right.
Because a lot of people just want to say, I did it, I tried.
Yeah.
God didn't come through for me. Moses said he was in the wilderness for 40 years.
Yep.
So now I can pinpoint that someone didn't show up. So, and sometimes, to your point, the worst deception is self-deception.
Yes.
When you can convince yourself that you're okay when you're not okay.
Yes.
And that you can commit to living your life suffering and eventually dying the victim of that distorted imagination.
Yes.
You suffer the worst, because nobody else knows except you.
Absolutely.
That doctor can't help you. Nobody
Absolutely.
else around you. And I've heard a lot of time people end up passing away or not really connecting to their true self, because they never really took that time to be true and vulnerable to themselves first. This is who I need to be in that situation. And this is what I'm not going to allow. To have, even having the ability to say no.
Yep.
No, I can't be.
Oh my gosh. That's been huge. That's been huge for me.
Yeah. How is that?
That's been huge for me, Chantal, because I am the guy who would say yes to everything. Superman.
Yeah, right. Of
I mean,
course.
when was the last time you seen Superman say, no, I'm not going to go save that child. I'm busy, doggone it.
I got it. Yep.
Yeah, I got to do something else. But I've learned literally over the last few months, the power of no. And the power of just saying, I'm not comfortable with that.
Right.
I'm not okay with that. And not in a facetious way, but really in a way that says genuinely what you mean, saying what you mean and meaning what you say.
Welcome back. As you know, I am here speaking to the amazing Rudy LaRose. We were just finishing about not being able to say no. I know for a very long time, I didn't even know how to say no, because I didn't want to disappoint people who was already disappointed. So there was nothing more that I could do to not disappoint them. So I really appreciate the conversation, Rudy, the ability for you to be vulnerable even in this conversation and standing for the millions that are not able to stand for themselves. I honor you and thank you for what you have made available to me and so many other people.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.